Casual Takes, episode 85, hosted by your boy, Stephen Pepper, here to casually talk sports. This episode is brought to you by no one. Happy belated holidays to everyone. Hope you guys had a good Christmas, just all those holidays I couldn't wish you guys, especially on Christmas. I've been away for a while, but I hope you guys dig the new setup. We got a mic stand and arm, got a little conference call light or whatever, so you can see me and all my acne in better definition. So we have a better quality setup. I set this up yesterday. I also want to tell you guys I made it to one of my fantasy championships in one of my leagues. Missed the playoffs in one league, had some mild success in others, but I made a fantasy playoff after starting 1-4. So give me a little pat on the back on that like button. Made the fantasy championship. Let's see how that goes when the games start tomorrow. I do face Amari Cooper, and I'm kind of scared because he put up like 55 points on Sunday, and he plays tomorrow. But a little short pod today, only talking about one topic. I think going forward, I want to get out more episodes and more content for you guys. So the news isn't stale because if I do Monday and Friday, I don't have shows to talk about what happens Tuesday, Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? Or I want to get more episodes out. So I want to do like these short pods. They're shorter, but they happen more often. I mean, I guess don't hold me to that because I always lie to you guys when I ever have an episode and when I don't. But I'm trying my best with all I have going on. But we're gonna give you guys this quick episode. I want to talk about this. The Detroit Pistons. This happened last night. I don't watch a lot of Pistons basketball, but when I do, they always lose, and they're on a losing streak. And this is very bad. They did it, ladies and gentlemen. The Detroit Pistons, they made history, but the wrong type. Most consecutive losses in a single season with 27. This is like the most Detroit thing of all time. I mean, I'm happy for the Lions. It's also awkward timing because the Lions finally won their division after 30 years. It's 93. The Pistons now going, I guess they sacrificed the Pistons for the Lions. To do this, 27 straight games. I was thinking to myself today when I was preparing, this could only happen in like Detroit or Cleveland, because Cleveland, I'm wearing this Cavs shirt. This is like something Cleveland would happen. You know, both cities had winless football teams. I think the Cavs that first year after LeBron, they went on like a 24, 25 game losing streak at one point. This can only happen in like Detroit. This will never happen to an LA-based team. This will never happen to a New York-based team, a Bay Area-based team, no matter how bad the Oakland A's are. To lose 27 straight games, that's just Detroit, man. This will never happen in like, I don't know, Tampa. The Bucks when they first started, but now they're a better run organization. But to lose 27 straight games, this is one of those moments in sports where it's like, it's so bad, you have to ask your coach and everyone in your personnel to just clear their desks. To lose 27 straight games, at least in my NBA lifetime, is the biggest embarrassment I've ever seen. Like, there's no way, if I'm the Pistons ownership group, that I would allow anybody on staff to come back and clock an extra day. Because to lose 27 straight games in a row is hard to do. Like, I'm old enough to remember when the 76ers previously broke the record, but it's like they made it obvious to their entire basketball world that they wanted to lose every game. Like, I'm old enough to remember when the Philadelphia 76ers broke that record. But they made it obvious to everyone in the basketball world that they wanted to lose every single game. But for Detroit, unless I'm confused, I thought I remembered all signs in the offseason pointing this franchise in the direction of taking that next step to being at least a play-in caliber team. You know, they signed Monty Williams to the second most guaranteed money, like $75 million for a head coach, only behind Greg Popovich. They bring in Bojan. They got a healthy Cade Cunningham. They drafted Thompson. They got all these young guys. This was supposed to be a year for them to take a leap into like a ninth. You can't even give me a ninth seed, dude. A ninth seed. You can't even give me that. If you're a Pistons fan, you got to ask yourself this morning, how did we get here? Because this isn't like Philly when they initially set that record, when they were in year one of an obvious tank job. The Pistons, this is like year 4 or 5 of the rebuild. Losing 27 straight games is going backwards. This is backwards. Year 4 or 5 of a rebuild. Not Philly when they previously set the record of like 27 games. I think it carried into the following season. They ended up losing like 28, but this is for a single season. That was year one of like the most obvious, disgusting tank we've ever seen in pro sports. And if you're Detroit, you've been rebuilding since the 2019-2020 season, about 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years of taking players in the top 10 of a lottery, and you lost 27 straight games. And it's especially bad when you consider that every other franchise that started their rebuild around the same time, OKC, Houston, Orlando, all have playoff caliber records and rosters. I mean, 2019, 2020 to 2021, Houston let go of Harden. OKC let go of Chris Paul and began their rebuild and acquiring all those picks. And, Orlando kind of blew up that fringe eighth seed that they had with DJ Augustine and Nikola Vucevic. Traded him to Chicago and began their rebuild. And they're all sitting with fairly good above 500 records in the race in their respective conferences, whereas Detroit's the worst team by far in the NBA. Like I said, this is one of those situations in sports where the coach and GM just got to get fired at the same time. I could not, if you're the Pistons, go a single day with those guys as my coach and GM. The Chargers did it a couple weeks ago when they fired Staley and Telesco. This is one of those moments, like, this is just so low. 27 games is so low. These guys have to go. For Monty Williams, you are the luckiest man on the planet. I mean, for one, he's lucky because he's getting paid guaranteed about $75, $76 million to coach a basketball team. Guaranteed. So that's why he's lucky. But he's also lucky because that same money is the only reason why he hasn't been fired today. I've been refreshing. Now, unless I just am not, unless I'm super oblivious, I've been refreshing Twitter and ESPN notifications, Woj, Shams, and such. The fact that Troy Weaver, the GM, and Monty Williams haven't been fired today, if this was any other organization, like I said, this is just so Detroit. If this was any other respected organization, coach and GM are fired after this game. To lose that, to finally have that streak, to go 27, because I was watching, I'm like, there's no way. When they went to like 20, I was like, there's no way. There's no way. And I think the owner was like, don't panic. We have a good core. Dude, I think after 27, you got to be like, oh, it's over. Like Monty Williams, one of the worst things you can do as a head coach is lose a locker room. And he's done that. But you can clearly see on the court, these guys don't care. None of them are bought in. They don't care about that winning streak. Because they did, they would have played harder. They have no chemistry. And to lose 27 straight games, how the hell can you not coach one singular win? How can you not inspire your team enough? How can you not find just one good rotation with a roster filled with Cade Cunningham, Bojan, who can give you 20, Jalen Duren, who's a walking double-double, and I know he's been hurt, and a bunch of guys who were taken top 10 overall. You can't find one rotation in a make-or-miss league that you can beat anyone on a given night. All you have to do is get hot from behind the arc, play good basketball for one singular game in a make-or-miss league. Can't find a rotation. But he's not going to get fired. I'd probably give him another game or two because, he did appear in the NBA Finals. His name is Monty Williams, and he gets paid all that money. But the easier guy to let go is GM Troy Weaver. I mean, he has been the worst GM since taking over in 2020. He has whiffed on almost every draft pick. When he came in to 2020, that season, he was the GM to start the rebuild. And I think we all should have known that this wasn't going anywhere when the very first draft pick he had was taking Killian Hayes, probably the biggest bust of the decade, number 7. The kid from France who was DNP last night. Sucks. And then he's whiffed on all of his late first rounders, all of his second round picks, key guys that franchises like Denver and Golden State have proven those guys can win you NBA titles. They're all either in the G League for years or overseas out of Detroit. You want me? He did draft Cade, But, like, dude, even a toddler would have taken Cade. Everyone in America would have taken Cade number one. Do you want to pat on the back for taking Cade? Is that really going to be on your resume? Drafted Cade Cunningham number one. Dude, that you're going to give the Cleveland Cavaliers a pat on the back, a sucker for drafting LeBron? You don't get, I give props to GMs and drafts when they take a steal at pick 30 or a debated lottery guy at pick 9. Not the obvious number one. You whiffed on every other pick. Cade Cunningham, yeah, he's great. I love Cade Cunningham. Free Cade Cunningham, by the way. He was 41-9. You failed, outside of Bojan, who was a good signing, to bring in teammates around him, although you're picking top 10 every day, year, to surround him with a good supporting cast. His teammates last night in Brooklyn, against Brooklyn, shot 36% from the field and 28.6% from three. Oh, my God. I don't think anyone other than Bojan had more than 15 points. And as far as, like, where does this streak end, I couldn't tell you. Because I do remember when they hit 20, I was like, this is Cade Cunningham. They're going to get healthier. They got guys like Monty Williams. They'll figure it out, right? But the day they lost to Utah, I knew they were going to break this streak. The Utah Jazz are bad. They're also one of the worst teams in the NBA. And where I got this Cavs shirt as, I saw the Cavs play in Cleveland, the same Utah Jazz team. And this is not a good Jazz team at all. And the Cavs beat them without like 3 or 4 of their best players. And then so I was like, okay, this is the game where Detroit beats Utah and ends the streak before they break the record. Utah won that game with their best players, Kelly Olynyk. No Laurie, no this, no that. And they still beat Detroit. They have Boston next. Boston is looking like the best team in the NBA. Streak's going to continue. You had 2 cracks at Brooklyn, and you still couldn't win. I have zero confidence in this team ending the streak anytime soon. This could easily get to 30. And I'm going to come back on here, and this is going to be the most embarrassing accomplishment. It's still history. Hey, you made history. Detroit? How many times is Detroit? I know their basketball team's a little bit more historic than their football team, but overall as a city, how many times does Detroit make history? Well, this is the wrong side of history. This is the history that you don't want to be a part of. This was the most embarrassing type of feat of my lifetime watching the NBA, to lose 27 straight games in year 4 of a rebuild when you're not trying to lose. You should get your coach and your GM fired. But that's all I got for today's episode of Some Casual Takes. Short episode, only talking one topic. I want to do more, like I said, I want to do some more short episodes so I can get more content out for you guys, so I can, post more daily and stuff like that, instead of you guys having to wait forever to hear my voice again. If you like my voice, of course. Follow my social media, stay updated on all things related to the show. Some Casual Takes is the handle. Until next show, see ya.